Okay, so today we're going to be going over this Chinese four-wheeler and if it's worth for you to buy one for your kid, and if it, the pros and cons about this machine. So just to start off, these machines are around $1,000, brand new. This is brand new. This one came with pretty beefy tires, great tires. The tires are amazing. But the only thing is the suspension can't really handle the tires because this thing, when you're driving it, it vibrates so much. So now let's go on to the second thing. It depends what kind of children you have, or if you're buying this for yourself. I'm assuming it's for your children. It is made in China. As you know, China things are not the best quality. So it literally says right back here on that axle, made in China. So if your son or daughter likes to swing the rear end, not a good machine for them because this chain will pop off. And the bad thing with this design is you can't get it back on that main sprocket, the front sprocket, because this huge cap that's blocking that. So what we had to do when it fell off is we tipped the whole thing on the front end and use gravity to shove it back in there. So that is one big con about this machine. And then obviously it's an axle and it's not CV shafts like the bigger machines. So it is not as great quality. And if you're, swinging it around, it won't really work for that. So some of these machines do come with like these little racks, not very strong. They're kind of dinky. They're getting held on by like 2 nuts. So definitely wouldn't suggest someone sitting on there. Same with the front. The front bumper is pretty good, actually. My brother smashed into the back of the side-by-side. He wasn't really looking. He was going slow. But really, the only damage was this little crease right there. Nothing broke. He was going slow. It wasn't his fault. And then he just bumped into the back of me. But otherwise, that was fine. So, yet again, if you're doing anything crazy that you do on a bigger machine as a kid or as your daughter or son, maybe mudding, that's horrible. You don't want to do that because your air filter is right there. So as soon as you pass that, you're done. And it doesn't have an air box like the bigger machines do. And if you do go mudding, a lot of that air is going to get sucked up into that air filter. You're going to be cleaning that all the time. It's a pain in the butt. Because I used to have a machine like this, but it wasn't a Chinese machine. It was a Yamaha Grizzly 125. This machine is a 125cc, so it's enough power. I don't know exactly the speeds on that. You can go search that up. But there is a, I forget the name of it. It's a, one of those things you turn down right here. So you can adjust this screw, and that will stop the throttle from going all the way. So that could stop the throttle here, anywhere to where you don't want them going past a certain speed. So another nice thing that is great about this machine is it has a tether for your child. So you can put this on their wrist, you can loop it, put it on their wrist. If they have a jacket, maybe on their like jean loops. So this is a big plus, is this safety thing. So look, we'll go ahead and start this up. Brake it. So then you go brake. Oh, kill switch. And then you go. So how you start these is a brake, and then that's a choke right there. So the nice thing about this is just like a snowmobile, you pop that out, shuts off. Right. So your child, if something were to happen, if they fall off, the machine will shut off. Emergency shut off, which is great if your child is exploring the speeds of this machine. So we have had this for about 3 weeks, I want to say. My brother has gone extremely dirty, but I'm not a mechanic, but I know my way around things. So if something happens, I can fix it. And I have some pretty good knowledge. So this has so it's drive, neutral, reverse. So if I start this up, it is cool. That is our cold start. So basically, right now it's in neutral, so it's gonna go 1, and that's drive, so that's forward. That's forward. And then you go 1, that's neutral, and then you go another 1, and that's reverse. I don't know why they would do forward for reverse. That's just the way they made it, I guess. So another bonus about this is it does come with reflectors. So there is machines that come without the racks. I don't think I'm positive the ones with no racks don't have these reflectors. But yeah. And then another thing, these are disc brakes. So that's that. The exhaust, very nice, not too loud. You know, if your kid's up and at it, go and ride first thing in the morning, you're not gonna be screaming at them. Like it's a 4-stroke, right? So it's not crazy loud. This is stock, obviously. So it is not that loud. It is a comfortable, what's it called? Noise. It's not crazy loud. So let's go. Like, it's nothing crazy, you know? It doesn't need to be loud. So like I said, this is a 4-stroke engine, and it does have a carburetor. So if you're leaving this, that's the carb. If you're leaving this to sit in the winter, sit over the winter, what you're gonna do is you need to drain the gas tank. So you want, or run it dry basically. So you're gonna take out all the gas you can. Okay, so you're gonna take out all the gas you can, siphon it out, or you can run it dry if your child is riding it. And once it dies, you want to crank it over for a little bit, 5-10 seconds, just to make sure that gas has really got through the carburetor and there's nothing left, because that gas will sit in the carburetor and gel up. And then when you have to go, you know, next season in the spring when your child wants to ride it, you'll have to clean out the carb, which is always a pain in the butt, especially for the spot that this one is in. So like I was saying, these machines are made in China. I mean, I'm not going to say too much about that, but you know it's not the best quality stuff. They did come with handguards, so they would go from here to here, but those were very cheap quality. So these bolts came out, and I kind of just took them off because it was a pain in the butt. It does have front and rear suspension, so we got some shocks here on the front, as you can see, and we have a single shock in the back. So yet again, these machines are not made to drift and for the rear end to be sliding. So if your child is doing that within a certain amount of time, something back here has happened to break. It's gonna break eventually. It's just not the best. But with any machine, to a certain point, it's not gonna last that long because it's not what they're made for. But if your child is, you know, putt-putting around, you know, taking it easy, this thing will last you forever, as long as you're not going crazy. And then I'm pretty sure it does. Yep, that's the light switch. So let's turn this on. See these lights. Oh. So that is straight ahead. That is angled down, and then I'm pretty sure that's off. So, yep, that's off. And then we'll do straight ahead, and they're on. They are not LED lights. They're just a classic old light. It does come with this bonus bumper. So if your child is new to riding, there is a chance that they might hit something, and that's gonna happen. So this machine came with a front and rear rack. Not the best quality, like I was saying. It does come with this, I wouldn't say heavy duty front bumper, but it'll do, unless you smash something on the sides. Like if you run into a fence post, you're probably gonna be all right if you're not going crazy fast. But like I was saying, these tires are amazing, and they have a very good tread, and they are extremely grippy. Like my brother did take it mudding, as you can see on that seat is covered in mud. So obviously he took it mudding. We just want to test it out. He wanted to test it out, see how it would perform with these crazy mud tires. And the tires were great. Only thing I could say is it didn't really have enough power in forward to really go fast through the mud. It's kind of like a slow crawler, but it performed amazing in the mud. I wouldn't suggest putting your machine in the mud, but it definitely could go through some mud. You don't want to be scared of it, but you could definitely tackle some mud with this machine. Another bonus about this machine is on this back rack, it has a little hole here. So you can put a flag through this hole with a nut and bolt, and you can put it, they make flags. You can put them as high as you want, so then you can see your child's flag if you can't see the machine for, some obstacle around your property. That may be tall grass or maybe a fence. So you can put the flag and you can put it at the height that you would like, and you can see where they are at all times. Another bonus about this machine is, for it being made in China, the front is pretty securely built. Like it is cheap. It's $1,000 from the dealership, like I was saying, brand new. But they design the front end amazing, but I guess they can't really do anything too crazy in the back, because it's just that straight axle. Just after drifting and spinning, the chain falls off. It's just a pain in the butt. And then once that chain falls off, you have to adjust this whole back end to bring everything back and reset the chain so it's not that loose again. So that's also kind of frustrating to deal with. But I would definitely suggest, if your daughter or son is, swinging the back end, you definitely want to check that chain, how tight it is, every time you fill up their gas. So this one is pretty tight. It's not crazy tight, but we don't want them too tight, and we don't want them too loose. So you kind of got to find that in between. These machines are 4-strokes, so they are pretty good on gas. You don't have to mix them with oil or anything. Then typically they come in bright colors. They usually don't come in a gray or a black. Typically it's green, blue, red, orange, yellow, very bright colors typically. So you know where your child is at all times, within reason, obviously. And these machines are surprisingly capable of whatever you put them through. Long as you're not beating on it, it's good. And I'm pretty sure there is a front brake. I'm pretty sure, there's 2 cables, but there's I'm pretty sure there's a safety thing where if you press the front brake and you press the throttle at the same time, it will not do a burnout. I'm pretty sure that's a safety thing. I don't know where it is exactly. But yeah, that does help. And the nice thing about this machine for your child is it comes with 2 keys. And you really, once you teach them how to ride, long as they're understanding of what the boundaries are, when you set boundaries, most of the time they'll listen. So once you teach them how to start the machine, you won't have to start it for them every time, or however old your child may be. Now, this machine does have an age limit. Obviously, they have to put that on there. It's 16 plus, I'm pretty sure. They have to put that legally, but as long as you're on private property, there's not really an age limit. As long as you're being a responsible parent or guardian to whoever may be riding this machine. So we got this about a month ago. It's kind of seen everything. Mud. Seen a little bit of mud. It's seen water. It's seen some dust. So another thing is if they're driving in a insane amount of dust or dusty trails, you may it might bog out, which is good to know, because this air filter does get clogged up once there is a certain amount of dust or mud in there. So if your child is going in dust and mud, I would suggest, checking that maybe once in a month, once in a while, once every 2 weeks, depends on how much they're riding. But they are 4-strokes, like I said, so they don't blow up. They last a long, long time. The engine lasts a long time, but usually the first thing that breaks is a chain, the axle, or something in the front. Like I said, it's made in China. It's not the best quality. But I'm surprised how much beef they put on these tires for what this engine is capable of pushing. Because the amount of meat that is on this tire is more than what's on our utility quad. Like, I got almost one finger here. This is a 2016 Yamaha Kodiak, but just to show you, like, there's almost the same amount, like maybe even a bit more. So there is an insane amount of tire grip on this machine. Now, that may not be needed in your situation. I know there are other tire options, other color options, and there are other rim options. See, this one's got that green around. That's totally optional. Usually you can get these in a local place and you don't have to ship them out. But this machine does not come with a skid plate to where this utility 4-wheeler does. So if you don't know what a skid plate is, it's basically just a plastic plate that goes along the bottom of the machine, just so nothing big gets up in there. It doesn't really need it because it's chain driven, and there's nothing crazy. Your child probably wouldn't be going anything over crazy. Trails probably within reason or the limits that you set them, and let them go. But yeah, this is a China quad pros and cons video just for y'all, if you think it's worth it or not worth it to get your child a quad. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.